Hey there. Welcome to the Pine Island Experience podcast. I'm Joanna Anderson with my husband, Trygve. Each of our episodes will be conversations with fellow Pine Islanders.
The goal of our podcast is to share with you our experiences, what we have found to be fun, and what makes the Pine Island experience so unique.
The biggest challenge is you cannot ever stop. You can't stop. And a lot of the friends and people that we've got some loyal people that are just since day one that we've met doing events and stuff and that we've met all over Florida. And they've just our CoastalFlo fans. We're their great friends. They support us. They buy our merch. They love when we get new stuff.
That's Dan Boone, a Pine Islander who recently moved here with his family and his company, CoastalFlo, a Florida-branded performance apparel line for all your outdoor adventures. You can hear how much the support of his customers, now friends and fans, mean to him. As Dan says, CoastalFlo is a vibe. It's a feeling, like those times when you just know it's time to take a day off. And now, here's Dan Boone. Dan Boone from CoastalFlo is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And welcome to Pine Island. I'm so glad you moved here. You picked a great place to live. Let's start in the beginning with your life. Can you fill us in on where you grew up, where you went to school?
Yes. Well, my name is Daniel Boone, and I grew up in Kentucky. So that's my start. Not a big man. I'm a little guy, freckle face, buck teeth. So I got picked on a lot. I was there until I was 18 years old. I don't miss the cold. We do most of my family's still there. Great people, great family. A little bit about my life. A little bit about the family is on my mother's side is Lincoln. They are very strict Catholic. I have an uncle that's a priest. My grandfather was a deacon in the church. The Boone side of the family, they were farmers. They're Southern Baptist. It was like the Hackfields and McCoys. They did not get along. I think my mother and father ended up eloping because the families could not get together. I had two beautiful families, but totally different. So at 18, I had moved to Florida. Every kid's dream to be in Florida from Kentucky. I was a trim carpenter most of my life. I did finished carpentry, stairways, crown moldings. At 23 years old, started my own business and pushed that. Didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm growing up every day. Got into the construction. I was doing a lot of the higher end homes. And I got to the point to where I had 5 good guys that were working for me, and they were all they were craftsmen. So they were in their 50s. Oh, Boone, my knees are killing me today. Can I get on something else? And while one lead guy got hurt, had to get his knee scoped and had some stuff done. No insurance. And I thought, that's going to be me one day. So I looked for other avenues. And back then, you're looking in the newspaper. That was the classified. You're looking at what can I do? And you're trying to find something that I could make a living off of, starting for what I was making doing the carpentry. And there was just no such thing. Well, I ended up finding the fire department where I was on 24 and off 48, and I could do both. I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy the fire department end of it. That I got into the fire department at 30 years old. So I was kind of an older guy getting into it. I was in it for about a year and lost my mind with it. I went all in. I took all the special ops classes. I went to all the officer classes. I did everything I could just to build this career. And I would say probably 5 years into it, I decided I just want to be a fireman. And with the construction, it's always up and down, up and down. With the fire department, it was very steady pay, but I wasn't making a quarter of what I made in construction with the fire department. And I remember talking to my boys, letting them know that things were going to be a little bit different. I was going to be home more, but we weren't going to have the money we used to have. And my youngest son was probably 4 at the time. And he looked at me because I would be up all night. I would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning so that I could lay out all the blueprints and bid jobs and stuff while everybody was in bed. My youngest son looked at me and says, "Well, Daddy, does that mean you're not going to be so grumpy all the time?" Brought tears to my eyes, and I realized I'm making the right decision. So I spent 27 years. I just retired in June of this year, did 27 years with the fire department. I started with the small department. Loved the small town, made it to promoted to a lieutenant. But I was watching this big county over there, new people. They had the special operations team. They had a squad. They did all the high angle rescue. They went to every single fire. They did to every extrication. I'm like, I want to be over there. 7 years from that department, I ended up going to Seminole County and getting on the special operations team. And those were my people. Those were my people. I loved it. Long story short, I loved the career. I pushed it. I ended up going ahead and get my paramedic. I got certified in everything you could get certified in. I didn't advance through there because I wanted to be the oldest guy to retire backwards on the squad, kicking indoors, which I thought was brilliant, except for probably the last 3 years when I realized, I'm a little bit old to be doing this. But I had a great crew, and I'd say the last 3 years, they had my back. We got that Boone. They dragged the hose upstairs. You know, I mean, I was really good. With the fire department, one of the things that I really liked was the opportunity to go to every single fire. The other thing that I was really good at was extrication, cutting people out of cars. I loved it. It was always a very chaotic scene. Chiefs were nervous. People were nervous. You would have people in cars that were screaming if they weren't unconscious. Man, I just found my zone. And I'd get in there and I'd do my job, and I loved it. But towards the end, I would say the last 5 years, that all got to me. It just mentally got to me. You know, seeing broken people made me broken. So we found our happy spot out on the water, me and my wife. We would go out we had the opportunity to go out during the weeks. So we would go out during the week when there was no people, and we loved it. And we would have people come in from out of town and be like, "Hey, Dan, we'd like to go out on the boat." And I would take them out, and they would see a dolphin 50 yards away, and they would be in heaven. And I thought, this is where I want to be. This is what I like. So we started to pursue it. And I thought, well, when I retire, maybe I'll do charters. I don't know, just scenic stuff. Spearfishing. I love spearfishing. We go down the Keys a few times a year. Pole fishing. I'm going to have somebody teach me how to get good at it here because I'm not the best. I took the time, all of a process, thinking about what I was going to do when I retired. And I got my captain's license, got my master captain's, just to put it in the back pocket in case I needed it. Ended up getting a retirement boat. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, you know what? Maybe we ought to come up with a name so we could have a shirt and a hat or something. And we had came up with CoastalFlo. Came up with CoastalFlo in the middle of the night. Couldn't sleep from calls. For me, I'd like to explain the name because it's like a song. Everyone has a meaning to a song, and it means something different. Well, CoastalFlo obviously is coastal Florida. But for us, CoastalFlo, it's a vibe. It's a feeling. Like all those times that we lived 30 minutes from the beach and we realized we decided we need to take a day off from the chaos and let's go to the beach. And we go sit out at the beach, and it was just a weight lifted off our shoulders. And it's like, we haven't been here 9 months. Why? Why? It's hard to slow down. It's really hard. So it's a vibe. It's a feeling. And Florida is, I don't know, to me, it's awesome. We love it here. There's more coast here than anywhere besides Hawaii and Alaska. There's more tropical coast here than anywhere. And every little town that you visit's different. They're all different. They all have their own little vibe, different restaurants. Some people, some of them are really big into blue crabs, getting ready to see what the stone crabs are like out here. We just love that vibe.
23 to form your own company is not what a lot of kids do. Do you remember what kind of got you into thinking about building your own? I mean, that's kind of young to start a company.
Well, I can go back. I would say when I was 15 years old, my parents were divorced. I got in with the wrong crowd. I just went wild. My mother couldn't contain me. I ended up being a runaway. I had enough gumption and hung around enough kids even at that age. And I think I was 16 at the time to know that if I didn't go to school, I wasn't going to get anywhere. I had knew some other people that had ran away. I took out a petition with the state against my mother saying that I couldn't live with her. And we went to court. And the judge, and my mother was wonderful, don't get me wrong. But I was the problem, not my mother. And I remember sitting in court and I'm trying to explain to the judge about how, yeah, maybe I did this and maybe I did that, but I just knew everything. Mom was fine, but she just didn't understand that I didn't need rules. And the judge just looked at my mother and was like, what do you want to do? I remember seeing that look in her face and she's like, what can I do? So I thought I won in court. I was now a ward of the state and I was going to be put into a foster home. Believe it or not, no one wanted to adopt a long-haired, smart, know-it-all punk kid. So I ended up in a boys' home. I was in a boys' home till I was 18 years old. When I turned 18 years old, I made my way to Florida. And I guess the reason that I had to pay the bills. I remember being 18 years old, finishing up my last year of high school. I had a job on a construction site in a $1 million home at nighttime. I'm gluing up these raised panels, old school, for this walnut library this guy was doing. I could barely make it to school in time. Glue all over me, and I'd go in and I'd change my clothes. I got tardies for being late, and I remember them saying that I was not going to be able to graduate because I had too many tardies. And I went into the office, and they're like, well, we need a note from your parents on why you're tardy. And they couldn't understand. It was so hard. They couldn't understand that, well, I can write you a note, but there are no parents. It's me. And so long story short with that, I did all that because I had to. I had no choice.
Where did you learn carpentry? Was it on working building houses?
When I was a kid, my father, when he was around, my father and my uncle, I learned the trade from them. And then got hooked up with some other companies and kind of learned how the business end of the world worked. I just went for it.
You mentioned getting into Florida years and years ago. How'd you end up discovering Pine Island then?
Pine Island, what a wonderful place. I'm still learning every day how nice it is here. I was on the special operations team. They'll break us down into groups every now and then with the USAR, and we'd get deployed different areas for hurricanes. And I was up in Mexico Beach. Well, a couple of my friends actually got deployed here in Ian. And I'd had friends that lived in Cape Coral, and I'd seen Cape Coral and been to that area, but I'd never been to Matlacha, beautiful. For some reason, I never kept going to know Pine Island was here. And I had friends come back and told me, they like, Boone, that's your place. You would be home there. You would love Pine Island. And they were here when it was devastated. I mean, they loved it. They loved the people here. So we wanted to check it out. Like, okay, let's check it out. We came here for I was going to retire November this year. We came for a mini vacation. I think it might have been July this year. I'd been looking ever since Ian, looking at properties in this whole area and where we might be able to land. And I wanted to be on a saltwater canal. I had to drag my boat 40 minutes to the water every day. I wanted to be able to just hit a button. Retirement. I wanted to be able to retire. So we took this little mini vacation, met some great people just on the vacation. We stayed at the Golden Palms and met the owners there. We're great friends now. We go out on each other's boats. The realtor, Brandon, great friends with him. But the places that we had checked out online, they just kind of never looked like they do in real life. So we went around for a couple of days on a golf cart and checked out places. And then the last day we were here, we had our realtor, Brandon, that we were going to go. So he's like, we looked at, nope, I didn't like that house. Nope, that's really nice, but it needs the work. I didn't want to work. I wanted to just retire. He said, well, if you looked at this house over here, it's in the Cherry Estates. And I was like, no, sir, I haven't. Because there wasn't a yard. I have trailers. I've never not had a yard. I've always had property. And like, let's take a look. And we went and took a look at this. The person that had this house was immaculate. The house was beautiful. It had everything that we wanted. Lift. I mean, it was just move-in ready. And so we put in an offer. And they said, okay. And then we were like, oh no, now we have 2 homes. We can't afford that. So we went back. I was still on vacation and I never went back to work. I burned up my leave. I would go have dinner with the guys every now and then, but we, what you had to do to sell a house, we couldn't have it sit. So we painted the inside, outside. I redid countertops. I wanted to make sure when it was ready that we could sell our home. And we sold it in 3 days. And now we're trying to we had to figure out how to make everything fit from a 3-2 with a garage and a huge attic to a 2-2 with a shed. So we were back and forth quite a bit for a couple of months, making everything fit. It's just been a blessing ever since.
When did you decide to start a business called CoastalFlo? When was it after you moved here?
Oh, no. We've had CoastalFlo now for I want to say 3.5 years.
Okay.
Maybe getting close to 4. I was wanting to do everything, get my captain's license, start the CoastalFlo, get our boat that we wanted while I still had a job. While I could push the overtime and we could make it happen. So we started that then. The name was a hit. And we tried to keep our designs really simple. And we just know a bunch of great people over where we're from, which was, I haven't said, it was over it was Orange City, Florida, Blue Springs State Park, probably 30 minutes from Orlando or 30 minutes from New Smyrna Beach in Central Florida. Well, I have some friends that were some charter captains and some that reached out that loved the name and loved the brand and loved what we were about. So I have 3 charter captains over on the east coast of Florida that have CoastalFlo on their boats and they're wearing our merch and we promote each other. That's kind of how CoastalFlo has grown between people we know with the fire department and the people in the fishing industry. Once upon a time, I thought I was going to move to the Keys and retire. And I wanted to see if I could work CoastalFlo into getting into the coral reef restoration because I love diving. I love spearfishing. Well, the Keys was just not feasible for us to move there. So now we're in Pine Island, and I'm not sure where that's going to take us or what we're going to do with it. We want to do something in the community. My wife, Wanda, she's joined the Matt Lachey Hookers. She loves it. I mean, we were out a couple of weeks ago picking up garbage on the side of the road, and I mean, just good people. So we're not sure how the brand's going to work here and what we want to do, but we're going to get involved and help people one way or another.
How do you choose or design what you sell? How did you come up with all and it's heavily sun protection, right?
Yes, everything's heavily sun protected. Everything's UPS 50 or plus. I was fortunate, like I said, that I knew fishing guys over that we had Mosquito Lagoon, big redfish over where we're at. And so I had the opportunity with them to, hey, check out this shirt, before I got in and checked, oh, that's kind of heavy, no. And to let them demo some shirts so that I've got some good quality shirts. They're very lightweight. With all of our sun protection shirts, it's all what they call a sublimation. It's not a screen print on there because they don't breathe. They'll stick to your back. T-shirts are all a tri-blend. I mean, I don't know if I can say this or not, but I'm going to say it anyhow. My grandfather told me way back, he said, son, no matter what you do in life, be proud of what you're doing. He said, if you want to be a garbage man, just be the best damn garbage man out there. He said, at the end of the day, you want to walk away knowing you did a day's worth of work. And you're going to get places and people are going to tell you, you need to slow down, Mr. Boone, because you're making us look bad. We don't work like that. He said, you don't listen to them. You work hard and you make your day count every day. And he says, remember one thing, you can only sell shit once. So we don't. We have not. So excuse me for that, but are really big on our quality. As far as the designs, I don't know where I come up with it. I really don't. I'm not that guy. The first logo that I did was you'll see it on some of my OG stuff where it's a CF that looks like an anchor for CoastalFlo. And I'd make that, and that was our logo. Well, I had 3 different free apps, and then I would transfer them, move the background, send it over somewhere else, put it over to Word, stretch it out, and I came up with this beautiful design. So now I had to pay someone that could make it real. And I'll never forget, I get to this first guy, and that helped me out with everything, getting it started with my design stuff. And he goes, okay, that looks great. He said, can you send me a file? I said, no, sir, this is all I have is a picture. Well, what do you mean? What program did you use? I said, I used apps on my phone. He says, no, you don't understand. What program did you use? I said, no, sir, you don't understand. I just made this happen out of nowhere. So now I have great people that I can do my copy, paste, and stretch and sketch some stuff out, and they'll turn it into a picture that's real.
Well, it is beautiful.
Thank you. We're trying to keep it simple. And that's me. And I don't know if I'm right or wrong for doing it.
No, that's a secret. Keep it simple.
I'm trying. Because you see everyone has just collages of fish and this and that. And it's even like our boat wrap. Get online, check out the boat wrap. I love it. A lot of my friends that have the charter, they have a really nice looking boat wrap, but it's a lot of graphics and fish and stuff to where you really can't read the name of their charter. So I've tried to keep everything I don't know, to where you see us. You see CoastalFlo. We want the name to be big, but who knows? Maybe it'll just be right here on Pine Island and New Smyrna Beach.
What has surprised you about owning your own business? The challenges, getting it to grow.
The biggest challenge is you cannot ever stop. You can't stop. I had and a lot of the friends and people that we've got, some loyal people that are just since day one that we've met doing events and stuff, and that we've met all over Florida, and they've just are CoastalFlo fans. We're their great friends. They support us. They buy our merch. They love when we get new stuff. I went through an ordeal and had a couple of surgeries a year and a half ago. Laid me up, changed my life, changed the way I looked at things. I almost didn't make it out of it. I almost died. But anyhow, I quit doing that. I went into a little bit of a depression trying to recover, and I didn't push the social media. And you could watch my online and you could look and you could just see just drop to nothing. If you're not anyone that wants to get in this business, it's a hustle. You have to, people forget about you. And it's just human nature. Remember, I used to get kind of upset because I would do an event and people would come by and friends would come by, or I would be working overtime at a station and be like, oh, I've been meaning to get online and get some stuff. I'm like, I'm starting out a business. Well, get online. I thought we were friends. Help me out. How can you forget about me? And then I realized I do the same thing. Out of sight, out of mind. You get busy. Like, oh, yeah, I forgot about my kid's, buddy's ball game.
Well, as good as social media is in terms of, getting in front of people, at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword because everybody's trying to get out in front of people. And you're right, you follow the bottom or you're not in somebody's face and they're not thinking about you or they're not incentivized to come look at the merchandise or, something else distracts them, for lack of a better phrase.
Yes. And that's the tough part. Right now, I am 59 and a half years old. I have started a brand 3 years ago that if I was good looking and in shape and 27, I'd be rolling right now. And I don't know why I decided to do this at a later stage of my game, but we're having fun with it. It's a tough gig. It really is. And the social media, yes, it's good. But like you said, anybody can go out there and do it. And the biggest part that has helped us out is when we go out and meet people. People like us.
So you mentioned shirts. What other kinds of merchandise do you offer?
We have our dry fit long sleeve shirts and hoodies. And I just had a lady actually on the island here reached out to me and says, we like it so much that you actually have the rash guards with the V-neck for the ladies. So we have something that's a little bit different. We have very, very nice straw hats. I have more trucker caps than you can shake a stick at because every one I think, that's a great design. And so we have a whole bunch of trucker hats. We have some dry fit hats for the ladies and trucker hats for the ladies. Tank tops for ladies t-shirts. We have men's t-shirts.
She was right about the V-necks, by the way. I don't know what it is, but they look better.
They look that the late, and it's a hit or miss with that too. That's the hardest. You're asking about what's hard about the business. Figuring out what people like. I came up with you come out. Oh, this lilac color is a hit.
Ooh.
The ladies are loving it.
Ooh.
We're just selling them. So then we do a big order more and more. And all of a sudden, now they're all buying the baby blue. And no one's buying it. It's like, it's funny. It's area dependent. It's seasonal. You just don't know what's going to fly off the shelves. You really don't.
So I know you're only 3.5 years in, but any plans for CoastalFlo that you feel comfortable talking about in terms of, expansion or additional merchandise?
We right now, we're looking to hope to get into some retail locations, but someone else's. We don't want to have to babysit a location. Somewhere we can have a little spot to show our stuff. But yes, I came up with a new, because if you get online and you look, we have the Florida logo with the Florida state. The ladies has the Florida in a blue with a hibiscus flower design that I did. But I came up with a new design for the ladies with the heart and a palm tree. It's beautiful. I call it the CoastalFlo boho. And we haven't I haven't launched it yet. We have
Ooh.
some patches in. I don't have any shirts yet. And so, yeah, we have some plans to change it up a little bit, especially for the ladies. And that was something that I found out too with getting into the brands is there's a lot of fishing brands out there, but a lot of them don't cater to the lady. There's a lot of men. So I have a lot of men's stuff for sure, but we're trying to cater a little bit more because me and my wife, we're a husband and wife team. We love to be on the water together. We spend our time together. And there's so many people out there that's what they do, that they ought to be able to have something for the lady too.
And boho's popular too.
Yes.
How did you know that?
I don't know.
Wow. V-necks and boho. There you go.
Yes.
So you mentioned you must have a website because you talk about online presence.
Yes.
What's your website?
Our website is CoastalFlo.com. We accept, it's set up really nice. We take any kinds of payments. There's also CoastalFlo on Facebook. There's CoastalFlo on Instagram. There's CoastalFlo on TikTok. It's only me as far as with the social media. My wife she's the grown up in the relationship and I'm the child. So I will come and talk. I will draw pictures. I will make people laugh. My wife will make sure we don't go broke.
So she's a CFO.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
way.
That's the nice part about a website too, is there's no hours or anything. It's accessible when everybody wants to
Yes.
go. So you're kind of focused on not only the design work, but then the advertising and the marketing to stay in front of people.
Yes.
Was there anything we missed talking about during this time that you wanted to talk about?
One thing that I would like to say, thank everybody that I've met so far for welcoming me to this island. We love it here. If you see me out in public, please come up and say hey. And if you don't like hugs, don't get close because I'm a hugger.
Yeah, you are a hugger. Yes. That's a good thing.
In the fire department, it was funny. I'd spent that 7 years with the other fire department. And then I went and moved to a bigger fire department, 700 employees. It took me 2 years to get on this team. And I was nervous because I had my little nook where I was at to go to this big department. Once I get into it, and I was the hugger, and I was the guy, I have a little bit of a foul mouth sometimes, but we would go to every fire. And I didn't realize who I was until I would say maybe 10 years ago or so, that we went into this fire and we're going and we're doing our job. A lot of times we'd pull up and the chief would be like, guys, go in there and tell me what's going on and figure it out. And yes, sir. And we'd go in and do our job. And I tell everybody this, not because we were better than anybody else. It's because we were very, very fortunate to get to go to all the fires. But you learn. You learn. It's all about experience. And we were just really fortunate to be in that place. And I would come out, like I said, because I might have been 45 years old then. And I'm coming out still doing my job. And I'd come out and I'm taking a knee and I would look. I remember one day I looked and some guy comes up and there's like 5 or 6 guys there. And they're like, hey, buddy, where's my hug? Like, oh, I'm all right. And chiefs would come over and everybody. And I was like, I got the nickname that I was ambassador of Goodwill at the fire department. And I would go around and I give everybody hugs.
So that's how it started, huh? Great story. Well, thank you so much for coming. We've been looking forward to this day. We really enjoyed this interview. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Oh, no, thank you all so much.
We hope you enjoyed our Pine Island Experience podcast. If you have any ideas for us, people to interview, or any comments, please feel free to email them to us at pineislandexperience@gmail.com. That's pineislandexperience, all one word, @gmail.com. Don't forget to like us, and you may subscribe to this podcast using all the major catchers like Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Thanks again for listening, and remember, island life is a constant vacation. We'll see you on the next podcast.